We are now live. Welcome to another edition of the Red Pill Diaries. I'm your host, your brother, and your friend Rashid, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me on another edition of the most powerful platform for truth, bar none, on God's green earth. This is your platform for education, elevation, and edification. This is the Red Pill Diaries. As we wait for our guests, John Helmer, to join us, I want to take the time out to thank each and every one of you for your support. I want to take the time out to thank each and every one of you for spending the time that you spend with us, because you didn't have to spend that time with us. You chose to do it. And for that, I'm humbled and I'm forever grateful for all of this, especially as we watch the entire world collapse, okay? The entire world that we have known, that we've grown up in, that we've watched, that we thought that could never pass, that could never fail, that could never collapse. Because in our psyche, we had been brought up to think that the world of the West could never stall, stop, or implode. And in reality and in real time, we're watching it right before our very eyes. This is a beautiful time. And the reason I'm telling you that this is a beautiful time, most people will say, no, this is not a beautiful time because this is the end of an era. This is the end of the American empire. But in reality, this is a beautiful time, because now what we're watching is the manifestation of freedom, justice, and equality. Because so long in this other world, there was nepotism, there was favoritism, there was inequality, there was injustice, it was hypocrisy, it was power and wealth for the people, in power and riches for those who could exert power over the few, over the masses. And the propaganda machine was outrageous. And they told the history that they wanted to tell without actually telling all of the history and telling what was really transpiring and how they really acquired their wealth. And for decades and for centuries, this was passed on. And I hear a lot of people, and I'm waiting for John to join us. Hold on, you remember he's on Moscow time, so for those of you who are listening, and he should be joining us anytime. And if he doesn't join us in the next couple minutes, I'll hit him up while we're on the air, okay, to let him know. But anyway, again, the system was so distorted. Everything from historical perspectives to scientific perspectives to cultural perspectives to industrial to scientific to industrial to military to just every financial, all of it was so distorted that everybody else now is saying that we're watching a correction. There's a global correction taking place, a global correction in the finance, a global correction in politics, a global correction in the order of things. Now, for there to be a correction, that means that there was a need for something to be corrected because it was wrong. That is common sense. If everything is right, there's no need for correction, because right stands on its own. And right is the straight and narrow, right? But if there's some kind of veering to the left or to the right, especially when you're talking about measurements, there's a need for corrections. What they tell the carpenter: measure twice, cut once. So what we're watching now is the total collapse and implosion of a world that you never thought would happen. Never. That might be John right there hitting me. But again, you never thought that you would live to see this day. That the great mighty American empire, the nation that ruled and dominated the seas, the air, the land, and every spectrum of man, and every facet of life, be in the position that she's in today. Before that, people didn't think that they would see the end of the British Empire. The British Empire, I remember they used to mock and say that the sun never set on the British Empire because it was a global expansion. And remember, of exhaustion. Because a lot of people, okay, I got a message. Hold on one second. He said, give him a minute. He says, give him a minute. Okay. All right. Luckily, I have my phone connected to it, my computers. So sometimes if you hear something say bing, that's my phone. I'm getting either a text message or a phone call or a message somewhere. So he says, John says, give him a minute, he'll be on. He had the times messed up. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, excuse me. So though when you look at every tactic that they had in their bag and nothing is working. So now Trump comes out and says if Iran doesn't capitulate, first he told us he was in negotiations. Iran said that's a lie. Oh, John is in the building right now, so I'm going to bring John Helmer on the screen right now. I told you we had John and waiting, and I know sometimes it's a time mix up, so everybody don't be mad or anything. We have time discrepancies, and he's all the way in Russia right now. So let me bring, without further ado, journalist John Helmer. Thank you so much, John.
Good afternoon, Rashid. Sorry for the delay.
It's okay, John. I was just talking to the people about the incoherent speech of the president of the United States, and how he is now saying that Iran is trying to capitulate and Iran is begging for a ceasefire, and that the United States is rejecting the ceasefire until the Strait of Hormuz is open. What do you have to say about that, John?
Well, two things. First, what I have to say is less important than what the other players have to say, starting with Iran, and then its principal ally, Russia. So what I thought I could try and do for you and for our audience is to go through the speech as I read it as a one-time White House staff member in the Carter administration. I mean, that to use Trump's words, Carter administration Stone Age, right? First, I'd like to go through the speech because it's unprecedented. It's an unprecedented show of violence, folks. Is the Russian name for automatic massive retaliation if the leadership is wiped out in a first strike or in a massive strike. Iran has the capability to do to Saudi Arabia, United Arab, to do exactly that, to support the UN now. Yes, go on.
I wanted to say this earlier on that point. Journalist Pepe Escobar says that China was not really with that 5-point statement. It did it to appease the Pakistanis and
evidence. Mm-hmm. And Escobar is somebody who claims exactly how different the Jalali plan. Cousin Jalali is the Iranian. What's going to happen next, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And Mr. Hellman, I want to thank you again. We're going to do this
hang on. For God's sake, don't call me Mr. I mean, if I go to the dentist, if I go in front of a court, I'm Professor Helmer because I am entitled to that title too. Lots of books, lots of university jobs, but it's long ago and I don't like using it unless somebody pulls title on me. You can call me a if you like, but I don't like it much. In this situation, we're talking politics, we're talking war, and I'm just John Helmer.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining me again, and we'll have you back soon, very soon, so that we can continue this conversation. I want to thank you. I'll send you the information in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Rashid. Thank you. Looking forward to next time. I hope it's better news.
Yes, sir. Thank you, M Sparks, for the $5 super chat. I want to thank everybody who stuck around for the show and who listened. I hope you got something out of it. And I want to say to you all this: do right by others, because we are all in this position right here. We're seeing the world collapsing. And I say do right by others, not for material gain or because of some accolades, but do right by others because it's the humane, the right, and the godly thing to do. Because even when no one else is watching you, remember, God Almighty is watching you. As my late, great, and beautiful mother would always say, God sits high on the throne of power, but he looks low at the actions of man. Know that I love each and every one of you who loves truth, but know that the love that I have for you will always pale in comparison to the love that God has for you. Until we next speak again, stay strong, stay true, but above all things, remember to stay righteous. Hey, mama, your baby boy still loves you more than life. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. We're out of here. Peace.